Orale! Bienvenidos and welcome to the Familia FFB podcast. I'm your host, Jorge Martin, and what a first day of the NFL draft. Oh my goodness, ay Dios mío, it was different. I just tell you, you know what? The thing is, I made some predictions before, but so we'll get into that a little bit. I think we wanted to see some more players go. I mean, I know we all talked about the running backs possibly not going, but I tell you, it was quite the day. There was just some incredible moves with existing players. But I'm telling you, but first off, let's start off, please. If you're going to fantasypoints.com, use the promo code Familia22. I'll get you 10% off your subscription. And if you want to put it in Spanish, Familia 22. Also, make sure you're signing in. Yeah, you're subscribing to the NFL Prospect Guide. You've got some of the best minds oh my God, adios mío. It is just some of the best minds out there in the NFL and fantasy, starting with Greg Cosell from NFL Films. We've got Graham Barfield, amigo of the show, Tom Brawley, John Hansen, Wes Huber, and who are some of the other ones? Joe Dolan, Scott Barrett. I mean, it's just names just keep going. Some of the heaviest hitters in fantasy sports industry, and they're right there, all there, helping you win your leagues. So make sure you're putting that promo code Familia22 when you go to fantasypoints.com. Get you 10% off. So Familia. Also we're live on YouTube. Please make sure to give us a like and subscribe. Por favor. We would really appreciate that. And no way. I mean, it was this was as different a day that we talked about. I had made the prediction that Deebo Samuel was not going to be traded today, and he was not. But two other prominent NFL receivers were traded. AJ Brown traded and then signs an extension. Tell me that wasn't in the works for several days, or maybe however long, maybe since the Tyreek Hill and Adams got traded. He goes to the Philadelphia Eagles to the Titans, who then ended up using the pick on a wide receiver. We'll get into that in a little bit. But I mean, it was just it was fun. But and then you had Marquise Hollywood Brown going to a wide receiver room in Arizona that now has DeAndre Hopkins, Rondale Moore, AJ Green, and now now Marquise Hollywood Brown. I mean, Kyler Murray's going to have some guys to throw to. Speed, everything, speed, length, but contested catch. Also, you still got Zach Ertz. I mean, it is just going to be on, and we haven't even got through the first round. But I made some predictions during the day, so I'm going to kind of go through them and just kind of see what my batting average was on them. So I'm going to start off number one. No running back was going to get picked in the first round. Yay. I got that one right. It's not going to be so much happening because number two, Malik Willis, was going to go to number 20 to the Steelers. It was all set up, Familia. I was on a live stream with Carolina Fandom, with amigo of the show, Jeff Hazley, and that pick came in, and I was dumbfounded, Familia. I was dumbfounded. Could not believe. I thought it was set up. I thought Malik Willis was there to be the understudy to Mitchell Trubisky, but what they did was instead they got Kenny Pickett, and who was just in the other locker room at Pitt, University of Pittsburgh, and then he just ended up going to the Steelers instead. So that one. Wow, and but we'll talk a little bit about that because Kenny Pickett became the only quarterback who got taken in the first round. So I'm still marinating on that one because that one's just amazing. I had said also prediction number 3 that there were going to be 3 quarterbacks going in round 1. So I'm now 1 for 3 on those. So that was tough. I really thought Pickett was going to go to New Orleans. I thought Willis was going to go to Pittsburgh, and that Desmond Ridder was going to go to Detroit. But the Lions ended up trading up to get a wide receiver instead of going to get a quarterback. So oof, I don't know. Let me see. Oh, wait a second. Amigo of the show, Craig Reith, ¿Cómo estás? ¿Cómo estás? Muchas gracias. Muchas gracias. I'm still kind of buzzing off this first day of the NFL draft, mi amigo. And I know it's late where you are right now, so I appreciate you tuning in and checking things out. It's yeah, I mean, I can't believe it. Well, I got prediction number 4 kind of right because I said Drake London was going to be the first wide receiver off the board. I said he was going number 10 to the Jets. He ended up going number 8 to the Atlanta Falcons, which I'll talk about in a second. Prediction number 5, Jameson Williams was going to go to the Texans at number 13 and then kind of let him redshirt for a year. That didn't happen. We'll get into that one in a few minutes. Prediction number 6, that the Panthers were going to trade down and go offensive line instead of quarterback. Well, they did not draft a quarterback. They did draft offensive line, but they stuck and made the pick at number 6. So I'll consider that one partial victory. Prediction number 7, Treylon Burks. I hope you're ready for some for some cheese, but that he was headed to cheesehead country, but he didn't. Another guy, he was involved in that big deal with it for AJ Brown. We will be talking about him in a minute. Adios mío. Oh my goodness, Mr. Scamper's in the house. ¿Cómo estás? I tell you, it was loco, my friend. It was loco. Did you have the answers like you do always on Front Yard Fantasy before any of that? Because I don't think there was any way to get there. So, nuestra dama, favorite dama in the world, Dame Overboard. Boring, huh? Boring. Well, we didn't get a lot of fantasy players get picked, but you know what? We we some drama. I mean, it was just. I mean, AJ Brown is now an Eagle. I texted a good friend of mine who's a Titan fan, and he just said, he had no words. He had no words. I still want to hit up my buen amigo Mauricio Gutierrez to see what he thinks about that because he's a huge Titan fan. So I'll get to that when I talk about Treylon Burks. So let's see. So that one. Prediction number 8: the Chargers are going to if the Chargers are picking between Trevor Penning and Chris Olave at number 17, go with the big guy in the trenches. They did go with the big guy, Zion Johnson, instead. Even though Trevor Penning was on the board, Chris Olave was gone. But we'll see if my other part of that prediction was that Tyquan Thornton was going to go on day 2. So, you add a guard instead of a tackle. That's going to be interesting. The Chargers needed offensive line help on the right side. The left is really good, or good to great. So they needed help on the right-hand side. Let's see what they do at the right tackle spot. Garrett Wilson. This is prediction number 9. Garrett Wilson is going to be going to the Commanders. Well, he didn't go to the Commanders. He did get picked fairly early. And Los Jets. I tell you, familia, that was the Jets had themselves a day. They had themselves a day. I tell you, it was it was pretty amazing. Absolutely amazing. But we'll talk about that one in a second. And the last one, 7 wide receivers were going to go in the first round. I said that London, Wilson, Williams, Olave, Burks, Dotson, and Pickens. So we got 6 out of 7. Got close, but jeez, adios mío. Familia. Let's get into it. I mean, AJ Brown is now. Let's talk about this first. The trades. AJ Brown is now a member of the Eagles. Now, neither team is big on passing the ball. So, but you know what? Now all of a sudden you have a player in AJ Brown who's a physical presence, a contested catch player. He is a clear-cut wide receiver 1, and you got Devonta Smith on the other side. So it's going to be a really, really interesting way how they kind of how they kind of use the two of them. The fact remains that Jalen Hurts is a developing quarterback. So if he takes another step forward this year, maybe throws a little bit more. I mean, he's got some potential. He doesn't have a big time arm like a Josh Allen, like an Aaron Rodgers, like a Patrick Mahomes, like a Justin Herbert. He does not have that arm, but he has showed some accuracy. So I think he has the capability to take another step forward. He's still going to be a rushing threat when he's got the ball, but I think it's it's going to be pretty interesting what happens there. Yeah. Well, you know what? But yeah, it's a huge deal. He gets the big deal. He gets the bag. But AJ Brown, I think he takes a little bit of a step back. Next week, I'm going to look at publishing some rankings, and I'm going to show what that AJ Brown. I think he just takes a little bit of a step back. He's still he was the clear cut number one with the Titans. Even though neither team was particularly big on passing the ball, but you know what? I mean, it's Tannehill was has a bigger arm, maybe throws the ball down deep a little bit more. I'm liking him. I'm just not liking him as much as AJ Brown when I say him. So we're gonna see. Vamos a ver. So let's get into the players who got picked today. So Drake London goes number 8 overall. Okay, well, wait a second. Hold on. We got some questions. Oh, Terry McLaurin to the Packers tomorrow. Now that would be spectacular, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it, Mr. Scampers? Oh man. So it's I'd love to. I think Terry McLaurin would love to see that. I think Aaron Rodgers would love to see that. That would be pretty fun. Let's see. Oh, Craig. Yeah, I just love that you're still on. I know how late it is in Cheesehead country. I can just imagine how much the people at your draft party were just I don't know if they were ready to go to Titletown and start lighting the place on fire, because for again another year with no round wide receiver. They know how to pick them in the second round and beyond, but man, I can't imagine that they're happy about that. We got Dame Overboard with a question. My dynasty team includes Adams, AJ Brown, Hollywood Brown, and Waddle, all impacted directly or indirectly by trades, and all was rumored to be on the move. What the hell? Ay, Dios mío. Dame, do you drink tequila? Because I really, really recommend it. I really recommend it. And it's a good thing you took a vacation day for tomorrow. So I think yes, I think that was a good idea. You're going to need major mental health day. And, at 4, I don't know what time zone you're in. For me, it's 4 o'clock. It's 7 o'clock Eastern time zone. I think we're going to see some fireworks tomorrow. I really do. But let's finish getting into this one, getting into today. What we saw today, Drake London to the Falcons. I think it's a great move for the Falcons. I really thought they needed help on the offensive, a little help on the offensive line. Definitely needed help on the defensive side of the ball. Defensive line, I thought there were some guys that they could have gone for there, but Drake London, he gives you another big, imposing presence along that you could put opposite Kyle Pitts, and then when Calvin Ridley comes back in 2023, knock on wood, I think Drake London becomes a great compliment to him. A big target, contested catch player. I think he is. I really like him. I know a lot of people have been questioning him from a contested catch standpoint because those guys haven't done well. But one of the things that we kept seeing is that some of those contested catches were because of poorly thrown balls. So where he had beaten the defenders, so he's going to get the separation. Hopefully, he's all the way healed up from that ankle injury, and I tell you, he is definitely one of the. He was my wide receiver 1 today, because I just think he's one of those guys who could be different. I really like Garrett Wilson. I really like Chris Olave. I like Jameson Williams, but the guys were. I mean, they're all small. Williams is also an ACL, so I think London can come in and really impact a team. I did like the offensive lineman. Anytime you can shore up the offensive line, all the offensive linemen that went, it was good, especially for with the Giants. Garrett Wilson going to the Jets, a team that a lot of people were saying early on. I think it was Daniel Jeremiah on NFL Network was saying that the Jets won the draft today because they got Sauce Gardner with the first pick. Then they got Garrett Wilson with the next one. And then they go and get themselves, at the end, they go and get themselves one of the best pass rushers, Jermaine Johnson, at number 26 when they traded back into the first round. Big day, big day. Muy bueno for the Jets. And Rich Eisen, I know you're really happy out there. So go. I think you already are buying plenty of drinks. But Garrett Wilson to the Jets. great compliment to Elijah Moore. Zach, I mean, they've really worked on the wide receivers there. I mean, he is, he's just a speed burner. He's just one of the great. He is one of the best receivers in this draft. He could do. I mean, he's not a big guy. Elijah Moore is also not a big, but you also look at the fact. I mean, when you get another talented wide receiver, you get a couple of good ones. Now, really, it comes down to the other Wilson, the other Mr. Wilson. Yes, Zack Wilson, the pretty boy. Does he take a step forward as a quarterback? I think everything is set up for him right now. There are a couple other receivers in the group, but you back-to-back wide receivers coming out of the NFL draft who are highly regarded. Elijah Moore looked really good at certain times. Let's see if Garrett Wilson, he's fully healthy. I like him so much. Chris Olave. Oh, wait a second. Let's see. Oh, we got another one. How about the Rams selection? Yes, F them picks. F them picks. Ay, Dios mío. Nope. Familia, thank you for sticking. I'm really, really sorry. We had a little internet blip here in my home. So, I just mean that was a little scary there for a second. It was not fun. So we're gonna zip through the other names right now. Chris Olave to the New Orleans Saints. Great pick. Oh, I mean, there's a lot was made of the fact that he was not hardly targeted on third down. He was not a broken tackle guy, but you know what? This is one of the smoothest route runners in the NFL draft. One of my favorites. I mean, he just looked so good, so good. I actually thought he was going to come out last year, but one of the really, really talented young players and who's coming out in this draft. I think he's going to be a great complement to a healthy Michael Thomas. Jameis Winston, you've got yourself a couple of weapons. Take some shots downfield. Olave, one of the fastest wide receivers at the NFL Combine. A great route runner. I mean, he's just going to be able to, with Michael Thomas taking the number one DB. Olave is a player that I really like in fantasy, kind of like one guy that you're going to be taking either later in the single digits or early in the double digits rounds. It's such a great pick. Such a great pick. Jameson Williams. I keep wanting to call him Williamson. Oh, wait a second. Hold on. Let's see. Yeah, Craig. Yeah, you're a smart man. Take the Thursday, Friday of the NFL draft off. So yeah, muy inteligente, muy inteligente. Yes. I love it. It's yeah. Today was actually, I wish I had taken today off, but I did kind of. But my daughters had a big swim meet, so I had league finals, so I had to be prep pop and take care of that. But let's talk about Jameson Williams. Probably the number one wide receiver if he would have been healthy. but I mean, just the film that I saw of him, the stop start ability. I mean, it's not quite Tyreek Hill, but it's probably as close as we're going to get in this draft. One of the ultra talented players, whether he would, even when he was in Ohio State. Scott Barrett pointed out that he looked at film of Williams, during his freshman and sophomore years, and he saw him plenty open, plenty of times. But Williams, great player, but again, he got this was a pick by the Detroit Lions. They went from 32 to 12. So they gave up some assets to get their number one guy. So now look at their wide receiver room. We've got Amon-Ra St. Brown. I think Dame overboard. I think you're a big fan. So that one, you got him. You got DJ Chark. You also got TJ Hawkinson. And you've got DeAndre Swift coming out of the backfield. I actually think that Jared Goff takes a little bit of a bump up in fantasy, but let's keep in mind, let's not be too aggressive with Jameson Williams. He is coming. I don't care how much he's running right now. You do not play with the calendar when it comes to an ACL injury. Go back and watch the episode with Dr. Edwin Porras that I had last month. It's very, very, very much. It's at least 10 months for come back from ACL tears, and really the graft does not take place, does not completely form until about a year. So 10 months from when he got injured, we're talking the middle of November. So you don't get too high expectations with him. I almost feel like this is going to be a redshirt year, but you know what? If you got him on a dynasty, I would still draft him aggressively in dynasty. He'd still be one of the first 5 picks that I would take in dynasty, even in a super flex league, because we're going to get into that a little bit. ARSB. ARSB. Who knows? Who's here? The Hall of Fame. USC all the way. Now remember, let's remember, I'm a Bruin fan, but yes, UCLA 555, but you know what? I still respect greatness, and there's been some great wide receivers coming out. Michael Pittman, last year Amon-Ra St. Brown, and this year Drake London. Just some real absolute ballers, and now they've got Lincoln Riley. That train is just going to keep going. So Jameson Williams, phenomenal pick. So let's go down to the Washington Commanders taking Jahan Dotson, number 16. Now that was, to me, the big surprise of the day. Taking Dotson, I really love his game. I think he's got. Daniel Jeremiah said he's got the best hands that he's seen. He made some of the best catches I'd seen. There was one that he made with one-handed and just kept going. So usually when guys do a one-handed catch, they pull it in, but no, he pulled it in stride and just kept going. So just incredible player. But picking him at 16 with Treylon Burks still on the clock, still out there, and others, I don't know. But and going to Carson Wentz, not the most accurate passer, so maybe he needs that catch radius. Maybe he needs the wide range. Possible. Now the Chargers went Zion Johnson, and they could have gone wide receiver there. Treylon Burks was still on there, but they shored up the line. It was good because number 18, that was the blockbuster of the day. So when we had Treylon, when we had these guys go, I mean, it was you had, I mean, with Burks going, I mean, it was just, I mean, it was as Treylon Burks going to the Titans. Now all of a sudden your wide receiver room is Robert Woods, and then you've got Woods, and what else? And Burks. I mean, Burks is going to get talked up a lot, but really, to expect him to come in and take over for AJ Brown, I think that's just too much to ask right off the bat. I really think it's too much to ask. So it's just, I just don't see it. I just don't see it, because remember, AJ Brown, his rookie year, it took him a while to really come into play. come into his own. It really was until like the last third of the season in that offense. So are we going to get Traylon Burks? I think that's going to happen for him. Trevor Penning going to the Saints was actually a really good pick because they needed help on the offensive line. But let's go to number 20. Kenny Pickett to the Steelers. I was expecting Malik Willis here. I mean, I predicted it as he was going to be there, and he fell. And Pickett went there. You know what? It's a very good pick. I don't know if it's a great pick, and really I think he's gonna redshirt a good chunk of the year. Maybe he comes in latter half of the season, be able to maybe he's able to take over a little bit for Mitchell Trubisky. It's I respect the talent. I respect him as a ball player. I just think that the ceiling for him is much more limited than it would be for Malik Willis, who if he would have gone to if he goes to a team that knows how to coach the quarterback position, which the Steelers do, I think that they could have coached him up to be really, really good. Maybe not to Josh Allen level, but maybe he could have been really good. Kenny Pickett, love his ball placement. He's got a strong enough arm. Maybe there's going to be some ball security issues with the small, with his 8.5-inch hands, but I'm just not going to, I just don't know if he's going to be a guy who's going to be able to go consistently toe to toe with Joe Burrow, with Lamar Jackson. I mean, it's going to be, and let's talk about that Deshaun Watson guy over at Cleveland. So, two teams that were really expected to be big in the wide receiver market, 0 for 4. The Chiefs and the Packers went defense all the way on both of them. So, I don't know what their fan bases are saying right now. I'm going to go check them out. But, ideas me one. That's a tough one. And a couple players that are still out there right now. Oh, I mean, you got George Pickens. All the running backs are out there right now. So, so that one's just that one's a tough one. You've got all the quarterbacks. You got Malik Willis. You got Sam Howell. It's, it's there, man. I mean, tomorrow is going to be fun. I'm going to actually be with amigo of the show, Bo McBrayer, Bo _McBigtime. We're going to have a little bit of a good time. I'm going to be up in Sacramento for a friend's memorial service. Going to be seeing some other friends on Saturday, but I tell you, tomorrow is going to be huge. I think there's going to be a lot of guys coming off. I'm looking at just some of the guys who are the best available players right now. I'm looking at them up right now. I mean, obviously, we talked about Pickens. We can talk about Sky Moore. Let me. We already talked about the receivers. I mean, the running backs: Breece Hall, Isaiah Spiller, Kenneth Walker, so many guys, Damian Pierce, just some great ones. Other wide receivers who are going to be available: Jalen Tolbert, Christian Watson, one of the favorites, John Mechie, another guy returning from an injury, Calvin Austin, one of the fastest players in the draft. With the show Eagle Dan Turner was really big on him. So. We're going to have a lot of fun tomorrow, familia. It's just going to be really, really good time. So I'm going to look at some of the questions here and see if we got anything before we get out of here. Yes, I agree. Woods will be a good pick. Let's see. It really was the shocker of the day, but not sure I care about USC players, but Woods is a good leader. Yes, I agree. Woods was a personal favorite of mine. He wore number 17, which is one of my favorite numbers. I was born on the 17th. So I look at him as definitely a player that is good. Again, he's going to be coming back from an injury. He'll be right at about the 10-month mark from coming back from injury. Let's see. Mr. Scamper's talking about Des Fitzpatrick and Nick Westbrook, Ikine. I just see their guys. I look at those as guys. I think Traylon Burks is the guy who has the phenomenal talent. I mean, he's a raw player, but I'm looking at him as being the guy that needs to step up and become El Hombre there. Yeah, there are definitely some curse words coming from Kansas City and Green Bay. So yeah, so definitely sending up thoughts and prayers their way. And Mahomes' value, that's a really good question. I think he's still great because you know what? I think something's going to get figured out. You still have Travis Kelce, enough value there. I think this actually helps Juju Smith-Schuster until we see what they do in the second and third round. Do they add some players there? They've still got some picks in the first. I think they've still got 3 more picks in the next 65 until about number 800 or the early hundreds. And this is still such a deep wide receiver draft. So I don't know if I drop Mahomes lower than third. It's Josh Allen 1, and then it's between him and Justin Herbert in the number 2 spot. So I really think that's it. I don't know what else to do there. Well, familia, quick one today. That's todo for our show. Again, go to fantasypoints.com. Familia 22. Let me put the banner up one more time. Fantasypoints.com. Use the promo code Familia 22. Familia 22. Get 10% off your subscription, or also get the NFL prospect guide. Either one, get them both. They're really some of the best information that's going to help you in your dynasty drafts and all over the place. And also make sure you're on YouTube. Give us a like and subscribe. Again, everybody, thank you so much for joining in the chat. I mean, this was a blast. I mean, you guys, Familia, you guys have been really good to me, especially these last few weeks in the off season. I could tell the passion that's coming from all of you. FamiliaFFB.com. I'm going to have some write-ups. I'll be putting out some stuff on Twitter. Maybe I'll drop in on somebody's live stream, but I'll do some recapping on Monday on everything that's going on. And because I really think that there are going to be some players going out there. I actually think there's more good running backs. Maybe not Bell, maybe not lead caballos, but guys who could be like one, either kind of like the banger or maybe the scat back, wide receiver type of back, and some intriguing receivers. One guy I'll tell you that I'm really interested in is Tyquan Thornton. Is he a guy that goes to the Chargers? That one could be very interesting. So again, also special thanks to Anchor for being our hosting network and making sure independent podcast gets out into the Familia community. Please like and subscribe to Apple, Google, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. So again, Familia, happy day 1 of the NFL draft. This is kind of like our Super Bowl after the Super Bowl day before training camps. So hopefully helped you out a little bit for what we got going on for your dynasty drafts. Definitely gonna have a lot of content coming out because now we know where guys are going to be. Have a good time. Keep a good thought for me. Hey, you know what? Send a good thought, Whitney. Thinking about you. We're gonna see a lot of people. We're gonna raise a glass for you because remember, todos somos familia. Salud.